Hi guys, welcome back. So as you can tell by the title of the video, this is the introduction to the Panda palette for 2017. You guys, the struggle has been so real with trying to decide which palette I'm going to be panning for 2017. It's not even funny. I think the only person that I've seen like just go from one palette to another seriously is just Amber F so far, because everybody else that I've been watching has been in the same situation, in the same dilemma that I have. Which palette do I want to pan? What do I want to do? Do I want to do a pan that palette or pan individual shadows or what? And it has just been so frustrating trying to figure out what I'm going to do and what I'm going to pan and jumping just from one palette to another. Well, finally, I made up my mind and I was able to come up with what I think will work well for this year. So, before I move into showing you what I picked for my Panda palette, let me just mention I have time today. So I did film another video before this, but I think you will be seeing this one first. So just putting it out there, you're going to see me with everything the same, because I'm not even going to sit here and lie and tell you that I film every single day. No, I don't. I film when I have time because I am relatively busy all day. So if I have time, I'm going to film. So be prepared for that. Okay, now moving on to my palette that I'm panning, or palettes that I'm panning. Okay, so I have two of them. I chose two palettes. If you watched last year's Panda palette or 2016's Panda palette, I chose the BH Cosmetics Nudes. It was brand new. It had, what was it, 6 shadows, 2 blushes, 2 lip colors, and a highlight shade. So that one I did pretty well. I finished I believe 2 shadows and I was nearly done with the others. So this year I decided not to go for a brand new one because that was pure torture. So I decided to take a different approach to it. So this is what I did. I have this right here, which is the Maybelline Nudes palette, the Nudes palette. I had decluttered this a while back, but I decided to keep it because I just liked the shades in here. And I usually layer, even though some people say they're not too pigmented, I usually layer any lid shade that I have over a cream base or over something that's gonna make it more intensely pigmented. So what I ended up doing with this is I depotted the shadows. The original ones, I took off the little divider plastic and I depotted them, lined them up closer together, and I also had some that I had depotted from a huge e.l.f. palette that I have, and some of them did not survive. They survived the depotting, but they didn't survive the hanging out in my drawer, so they kind of just cracked on me. So these are kind of like unsightly shadows that I do want to use up because they are good shadows, especially these e.l.f. ones. So I decided, you know what, there's progress already, there's like automatic progress just starting out with this, so why not just put them in a project pan. And so I put them all, I squeezed as many as I could in here together, so I am going to be trying to use them up. Some of them are cracking, like there is a piece right over here. They don't have a magnet, so I don't want to like mess them up, but there's a little piece of shadow there. If there's a piece that cracks, I'm just gonna get rid of it because I'm not gonna be repressing just for a little piece. So that is what I'm doing with this one. What I'm also going to do is I have some other ones that are depotted from this e.l.f. palette. So if I do finish one, I'll replace it. I'll start using another one. I'll replace another one in here. So that is this one. And here is another one. This one is a custom little mini Z palette that I put together. And in here, these shadows I don't think they're magnetized either. No, they're not magnetized either, some of them. So I put a bunch of little minis that I had together. So this little quad right here, along with this one, so all of these shadows right here are samples from the Coastal Scents, what is it, Revealed palettes. So am I lying on that one? No, they are samples from the Coastal Scents Revealed palettes. So I had them there. I said I might as well use them up, so I decided to put them in this palette. So those are them right here. This is a Pixie shadow that I depotted, and again survived the depotting, and it did not survive the hanging around in the Z palette where I had it. And this one up here, I honestly don't know where the heck that one came from. It's probably also from the Nudes palette, from the Maybelline Nudes palette. So I just thought this was a good way to get a lot of use out of these little minis. And I just thought it was really cute, like mini shadows in the mini Z palette. I just thought it was cute. Now, if you notice, these are both very neutral palettes, and there is a reason for that. It's not because I just want to be boring and neutral. I mean, not that you're boring if you just like those kind of colors, but I like color, and I have a lot of colorful palettes. So I decided to use on purpose as many neutral shadows that I could for several reasons. One being that with my line of work, nursing, private duty, I really don't have a use for makeup, except if we go out to the doctor or anything like that. Well, you want to look a little bit presentable. You don't want to go looking like death. So, you know, light on the makeup. I usually overdo it. Even when I know we're gonna be home, I just, you know, put on my full face of makeup. It's like, who cares, I'm here. But when we do go like on outings or something, I don't want to have like too heavy of a makeup look. So that is one reason why I chose these. Second, what I did with my last year's palette is I would not use it on the weekends, or, you know, on days when I wouldn't go to work, I would not use it. I would take that time to just integrate some of my other shadows and get some use out of them. Well, this time I picked a neutral palette, so I can use those other shadows. If I want some blue, if I want some purples, or whatever color I want, I have these neutral shadows that I can use in the crease, that I can use as a blending shade, you know, anything like that. I can use this palette, so that will help me, because if you add up 2 days here, 2 days there, 1 day here, or 3 or whatever, it adds up at the end of the year. So that's a lot of use that I wasn't getting out of my palette. So by picking these neutral shades, now I am able to integrate a lot of shadows, especially my ColourPop shadows that I want. I have the goal to finish 2 or 3 of them this year. So this will give me a really big opportunity for me to just use a lot of those shadows and try to meet a lot of those goals that I have for this year's, I guess you can call it a beauty resolution. So that is a reason for me picking these shadows, these palettes. In reality, they're singles, but it's a palette. So let me see. And these are 21 shadows. So those are 21 shadows. Do I think I'll use up all of them? I doubt it. I mean, I'll do my best, but it's 21 shadows. And over here, I have 9. So 9 over here. So that is a lot of eyeshadow that I have to work with this year. And it does make me excited. I went back and forth with just bouncing ideas off my head. What am I going to do? Should I do this? And I do have some good ideas. Some are my own, and some were inspired by other project planners that I've watched, and kind of like taking concepts here and there, but that'll come at a later time in the future. For now, I'm going to stick to these 2 palettes, and I will see how I end up with these. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm excited at the same time, so I guess it's a good thing. Anyways, I don't want to make this video longer than it is. Like I said, introduction for Pan That Palette 2017. Very excited. Lots of project planning coming up. Lots of collabing. Just getting a lot of makeup out of my collection. It's gonna be a fun year. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're doing a Pan That palette this year, especially if it's your first Pan That if it's your first Pan That palette challenge, let me know, because the support is there. We are here. Fortunately, this part of the beauty community, which is the panning community, has a lot of support, and we just love giving each other that inspiration or that push that we need to be able to get use out of our products or meet whatever goal we have with our projects. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.